Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day directly from my basement, where every day you can check in and see how crazy my hair is going to get because we can't go and see barbers right now. Anyways, I want to dedicate our rundown to all of the scientists around the world who are working together or maybe working independently, trying their best to work out some treatments for this virus. And obviously working to try to get all of this material together to create a vaccine so that the world can be safe going forward. So this one is for all of you very, very smart people who are trying to take care of the planet out there. Shout out to scientists. Yay! All right, let's get started with your rundown. Harrison Ford is going to be yet another year older when the new Indiana Jones movie finally hits theaters. Disney has delayed the fifth film in the iconic adventure franchise once again. It is now scheduled to hit theaters on July 29th, 2022, with production slated to begin early next year.
Always knew someday you'd come walking back through my door.
It was expected to begin filming this year, but current events have obviously put those plans and the plans for most other big movies on hold. This isn't the first delay for the new Indiana Jones. Disney acquired the rights to the franchise after they bought Lucasfilm in 2012, and when the fifth film was announced, it was slated to hit theaters in 2019, then 2020, then 2021, and now 2022. Steven Spielberg has been attached to direct, but he dropped out earlier this year, with Logan director James Mangold reportedly taking the helm. With this new release date, the film will be hitting theaters 2 weeks after Harrison Ford's 80th birthday. Holy moly. Yes, Harrison Ford, like all of us, is getting older.
It's not the years, it's the mileage.
Certainly, I can understand the skepticism. I know a lot of people didn't like that fourth movie. I liked a lot of that fourth movie, and I love Harrison Ford. I am down to go and watch this new Indiana Jones movie no matter what. I'm there for that. First day, for sure, or earlier. And I also think that Harrison Ford is more than ready and willing and able to get into some pretty cool action stuff. He just did some great work in Call of the Wild. You know, obviously, he's not going to be throwing his body around like he did when he was a younger man, but we probably will still be seeing lots of cool action pieces. And if Mangold, if he does become the director of the movie, handles it with the same degree of finesse that he handled Logan, I think we're in for a real treat with the fifth Indiana Jones movie. And I don't want it to be this big, serious and dour film, but it would be great if it was some kind of movie to, you know, acknowledge the legacy of this character and this franchise. And maybe they're going to do something where they bookend Harrison Ford at the beginning and the end, and he talks about thrilling adventures, and we're going to have a younger person, or maybe they're going to do some weird CG deep fake thing and put Harrison Ford's young face on stuff. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm there for it. I want to see it. Indiana Jones is, you know, it's between Indy and Batman. They're my favorite characters of all time, and Harrison Ford will always be my favorite actor of all time. Now, Disney has decided to bite the bullet and have one of their big summer movies skip theaters altogether. The new live-action adventure Artemis Fowl will skip its theatrical run and instead be released directly on Disney+. The film had been slated to hit theaters on May 29th, but with the global pandemic, it was delayed, along with pretty much every other big upcoming movie. Apparently, the studio thinks it will do better as a digital release instead of a big theatrical release this summer, and this makes it the first big summer movie to make the jump. Disney probably isn't happy that they had to do this. Artemis Fowl had a budget of more than $125 million and is directed by Kenneth Branagh, who last worked with Disney on their blockbuster Cinderella, so skipping theaters will hurt their bottom line, even if it helps Disney Plus win new subscribers.
You're all I have now, Artie.
Disney is still planning to release their other big movies in theaters. Mulan has just inked a new release date in late July.
Yes, Commander.
While Black Widow won't be hitting theaters until November.
Nothing lasts forever.
Their new adventure movie, Jungle Cruise, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt, won't set sail until next year.
I got it. I don't got it.
Disney Plus, honestly, we're all able to be home now and dig into all of these digital services, and Disney Plus could stand to have some more injection of some new stuff, some really exciting big things. And it was amazing to watch Onward on Friday with my family after that was like one of the last movies that I saw in theaters before we, wound down our EP Live production. And here it is already on Disney Plus. And it's crazy, but it's a sign of the world right now. And, I don't know if people are going to be rushing to theaters in the summertime. So I don't think that this is going to be the last big, massive movie that's going to make its way into a premiere slot on Disney Plus. Disney pays for a ton of really big pictures. And yes, the trajectory before had been get them into theaters, but I think that this is going to be something that we see happen again and again. And certainly there's a lot of news about movie theater chains like AMC struggling right now in the world. All of it sucks, and it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around it, but it's also... it kind of makes sense in this crazy world. And seeing Onward so soon after seeing it in the theaters was amazing and shocking, but also kind of the future in a way, like it just feels a little incongruous to think of theaters in the same way anyway, regardless of this pandemic. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes, and I don't think Artemis Fowl is going to be the last big picture that we know is coming that studios are going to wait on.
All right, enough, all of you.
Big movies are being delayed and production is being pushed back, but that doesn't mean you can't write new movies in the meantime. Disney and Marvel have brought on board a new writer for their tiny superhero adventure, Ant-Man 3. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the film is being penned by screenwriter Jeff Loveness, best known for his work on the Cartoon Network series Rick and Morty, not to mention the fact that he's written for several Marvel comics, including Guardians of the Galaxy and Inhumans. Given his previous work, it sounds like the new Ant-Man will be going for the same kind of funny tone as the first two movies. Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly are already set to return, along with director Peyton Reed. No word on when filming might begin or when it will land in theaters. I suspect that a lot of production is being pushed back into 2021 over at Marvel, which is crazy because their pipeline was just running like a machine, and we were getting new releases after new releases, and all of this Phase 4 stuff was coming. Very excited about Ant-Man 3. I think Ant-Man 1, I liked 1 better than 2, but I really love these characters. I think the actors are terrific. Obviously, I have a strong fondness for former EP castmate Evangeline Lilly. She's wonderful, and I'm really excited to see her in the Wasp costume again and kicking butt like she has been doing in the movies. And Paul Rudd is just a joy, man. The guy is fantastic. We did a whole feature on comfort food video games over the weekend, but talk about comfort food movies. Those Ant-Man pictures absolutely qualify and fit that bill for sure. I love the fact that they stand apart from the epic scale and the world-changing crazy bad guys and utter devastation that we see in the other MCU films. There's still a lot of crazy special effects and a lot of destruction, but it's obviously a smaller scale. You can't talk about the Ant-Man movies without bringing scale into it. And you know what's weird is I didn't really fall in love with Ant-Man when I first saw it on the big screen, but when I saw it again, when I was trapped on an airplane watching it on a tiny screen, it was fitting, and I was just captivated by this little infinitesimal world, this tiny world. And that's when I really fell in love with it and really appreciate it. And I really respect how Ant-Man fits. There is another size thing. You can't talk about this character without talking about size.
Makes sense.
A last-gen game is marching in on current-gen just in time for next-gen. Deep Silver has announced a remastered version of Saints Row 3. It's coming to the PS4, Xbox One, and PC next month, and will offer better graphics and lighting along with all the DLC for the original version. However, it will still only run at 30 frames per second. Saints Row 3 was first released in 2011 and was the first entry in the series that abandoned the dark and serious tone of the first two games, instead going for something more goofy and irreverent. This helped make it a huge success, and since then the game has been re-released on other platforms, including the Nintendo Switch just last year. Hopefully the remastered version is remastered enough to make it worth your while. I remember really digging Saints Row 3 and Saints Row 4. They got incredibly insane and crazy, almost derivatives of Crackdown more than the Grand Theft Auto franchise, which were obviously the inspirations for the early Saints Row games. I haven't been able to go back and play the Saints Row remasters. I know that they're on Switch and I want to get them. It's sort of on my I'm going to get to them kind of pile, but I've been focused on a lot of other titles out there. But I did have a real fondness for them, and there's a hookiness about playing these games where they get under your skin and you just can't put it down because there's so many different things to obsess over. Really well made. It's a little disconcerting that they're still running at 30 frames per second though here in 2020, but you know what? I bet you they're still going to be hella fun.
You ready for this?
Birds of Prey wasn't a hit at the box office, but that doesn't mean we've seen the last of Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie and the film's director Kathy Yan say that a follow-up is possible. Speaking with The Wrap, Yan revealed that people at the studio aren't ready to let go of Harley Quinn despite the disappointing performance of the new DC anti-hero movie. Since Birds of Prey is set within a shared universe, it's always possible for Robbie to appear as Quinn in other movies, even if they're not a direct sequel. If more movies do happen, Yan says that she'd like to see Harley join forces with her frequent partner in crime, the horticulture villain Poison Ivy. Margot Robbie herself said that she wants to partner with Poison Ivy in a separate interview with Slash Film, so it sounds like there have at least been meetings about the possibility. Harley and Ivy are often paired together, most recently in the new Harley Quinn animated series on DC Universe. And I don't know if you heard while I was reading the news there, but my kid is very excited about seeing Poison Ivy on the big screen, aren't you, Ruby? Yeah. Yes, she is. That's one of her favorite characters. She was Poison Ivy at Halloween, actually. I wasn't a huge fan of the Birds of Prey film. I thought that it was a little bit, it didn't have the stakes that I really wanted. And there were lots of characters that were, I think, not utilized in quite the correct way. There was some very, very fun work in that film, though. And, you know, I love Margot Robbie as this character. I absolutely want to see her reprise the role. I would love to see more adventures. I would just, I don't know, like a reassessment on some of the tone of Birds of Prey. I think one of the major things with the film is that it tried to pull off a little bit of that Deadpool kind of irreverence, and the jokes didn't land. When I saw it in the theater with a packed house at an early screening, we just were not laughing, and that was a problem, you know? And so if you're going to go for comedy and have something that's just zany and goofy and silly, the jokes should land like they landed Deadpool. And I just couldn't get that out of my mind. And so if you don't have the stakes and you're going for that sort of zaniness, you got to hit those marks. Or you can go in the other way and be a little bit more psychotic and crazy and creepy. But I would love to see Poison Ivy on the big screen again. Been a long time in live action. And I think she's a fantastic character. Lots of really cool Batman stories with Poison Ivy. Lots of fantastic stories with Harley Quinn. I'm a huge DC fan. You can see it behind me. So I want the best for these characters. And it broke my heart that I didn't like Birds of Prey more than I did.
You are so cool.
All right, that's going to do it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new episode for you. In the meantime, lots of other content for you to check out, lots of features and interviews and reviews, so please do that. And if you dig our channel, hit that subscribe button. You can hit like on this video if you like this one, and please share this. And we will see you soon. Until then, play forever.